and welcome to Test Run. I am your host, Code Marvelous, and today I am again joined by David Saya from the UK Meta.
Hi Dan, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on, and we have got a special treat for everybody. We're going to be heading on down to Murder Town, and you're going to be showing me how to pilot one of the more recent iterations of your putative CI deck.
Yep.
So talk to me a little bit about mulligans and opening hands that we're looking for.
I'm basically looking for money, pretty much. Hedge funds of our levels are pretty good. I don't want too many agendas in my opening hand, because the worst case is if they can steal agendas and we can't punish them, and turn 1 or 2 that often sometimes happens. So ideally some money, some ice, is generally what I'm looking for.
Nice. Yeah, I found if I don't start with agendas with this build, I'm usually doing pretty good.
Yes, that's the key thing. Often it's if you can, and particularly if you score an early agenda, then obviously that always helps. It's generally my experience is whoever gets the first agenda quite often wins the game. There are some exceptions to that, but yeah.
All right. So hopefully somebody will jump in. In the meantime, let's just take a look at the build and talk about a couple of things. So, one of the biggest things that I think of for me, when I view this deck, when I first viewed this deck as an outsider looking in, like, how do you prioritize what ice goes where?
Generally, I'll put ice anywhere. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. I just chuck ice anywhere. I know a lot of people have certain systems. I suppose Brainstorm is the key ice. Obviously, I like a Brainstorm on the remote. Against Shaper, I might put it on R&D or potentially on HQ. Sometimes I'll just leave it and see where they start running and maybe put it down. I don't really have a system. I just go with gut feel sometimes.
That's fair.
I think the only rule I would stick to is I don't think I would ever stack Brainstorm for obvious reasons. Ideally, one Brainstorm on HQ, R&D, and the remote, and then you can put their whole Heim where you think it's most appropriate.
Sure. All right, are you able to see my hand okay?
Yeah, I can see that. That's an interesting hand. Wow. So we've got a lot of money. We're playing Leela, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever played against Leela with this deck. So something we do have to consider when we do, if we score agendas, but they'll be looking to steal agendas. I'd probably consider keeping that.
So,
but
you're the pilot. I'm just a conduit for your will.
I think I keep that.
Okay. I mean, a four clearance hand is certainly something.
Oh, fantastic! So, I'd put the Brainstorm somewhere. So, for HQ and R&D. I consider. Where should we put it for now? We'll put it on HQ. We'll take a credit, and then play Violet level.
That's a pretty good hand.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And obviously, being leader, they'll run a R&D. I'm assuming.
I mean, I hope they get a 5/3.
Yeah.
Like we can end this game very quick if people decide.
Okay.
So oof.
So
well,
I think
the jig is up.
So yeah, they know what's going on immediately. So what we can do, there's 2 different lines we can take here. We can either UVC the Brainstorm onto R&D, or we can manually install the R&D, play Scarcity, and then play Violet level.
Okay. What do you think's the better call here?
I think I would prefer the Scarcity play, because it'll force them to actually have to do something else.
And we know that this Leela is very resource heavy.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's a sit back and wait deck.
Exactly. So the other thing we want to do is probably get an ice on archive when we can, because may try and sneak through at some point, potentially. Oh, That's interesting.
What, Clippy's in the bin?
And we have a lockdown in our hand. So we've got to work out if they're playing just the one paperclip. I would assume so.
Yeah, most criminals are only borrowing one.
So I'm thinking lockdown, hedge fund, fight level.
Feels good.
Yeah.
We do. So we are holding a slightly higher than average number of agendas right now.
We are, but again, we've got the punitive. We've got the hedge in hand, so we probably. Do we risk an ultraviolet level clearance to see what we get? We could always put out the MCA if we don't hit anything better. So we've got a safety valve, so I think we can play it. Fantastic. So I think we put wall of static. I think we put wall of static on a remote for now.
Okay.
If they do want to sneak to us and hit agendas, then I think they'll be in big trouble because they'll be quite poor. The problem we've got to be careful of is gang sign, because obviously that will bypass punitive, so that's something we've got to be slightly careful of. Wow, Armitage.
Do we want to try to force a run here, or are we?
I think I'm more than happy to put an MCA in the remote and start ticking it and
do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it gives us some options. And then we could potentially put the Enigma on archives as well, if we want to, just to give us that insurance if we want to SMIs. Yeah.
We've gotten very lucky with the clearance draws.
We have.
Oh yeah, thank you for playing that Fisk.
Yeah, fantastic. Give us another brainstorm.
I can't imagine they're going to run a central now that they know that the brainstorm's in play.
Exactly, yeah. So they're going to be careful. So I think hopefully we can get the MCA ticked over. We can just... So do we put a brainstorm on the remote is what I'm thinking about.
Oh.
I think just in case they do run, yeah, just why not? Gives a bit more insurance.
And then do we want to hit the IPO?
I think so, yeah, it's a bit more money. Although I'm trying to keep as many non-agenda cards in hand as possible.
Sure, yeah.
But obviously we do need a bit more money if we want to potentially look at score the food out, or potentially Vitruvius and over advance it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I don't think we can get this to 3. I think I don't see them being able to run and get in there. So ideally we score the elective if we draw it. Oh, okay.
Saucy.
Okay. So here's a consideration.
If they come in, they just lose.
We can res that, and we can do 1 drain damage if we want to. It's an option. I'm not saying we should.
No, we can't. It'll have no subroutines.
Oh, of course, they filmed it. I do apologise.
Yep,
then we don't.
Yep,
then fine. We don't res.
But this is the last click.
Yes, if
they hit an agenda, they just die.
Yes, we've got the MCA as well, so we have a lot of clicks.
See, this happened to me a lot at the tournament, where these suicide scenarios, and I'm like, please hit the agenda, and then they don't.
Yeah.
Because if they had hit the agenda, we would just punitive, archive, punitive, and that would have been the end of the game.
Exactly. So we can tick the MCA. Now, do we just not bother putting ice on HQ and just let them do it? Just let them run?
Maybe, because even if they get a single HQI down next turn.
Yeah. And they'll be banked, because obviously they're so poor. Because I'm almost tempted to let them do it, let them run it. Because if they steal 4 agendas in 1 turn, fine, they steal 4 agendas, and that's life. So maybe draw next click and see what we get. Another agenda. And draw last click. I think, go, let's risk it.
Yeah.
more kill.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Please come into HQ. Yeah. Okay, so
Yep.
please hit an agenda.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what they steal.
Yeah, even a 2-pointer, I'm pretty sure we could kill them quite easily. So we can have a lot of clicks next turn.
Oh, come on.
So, do we actually try and score out? They've got 2 gang signs, so they only get 2 single accesses. We could just then at least get the food out of one of the foods out of our hand, because we can score it, or we could score a Vitruvius.
I mean, I feel like the gang signs, that'll be when they hit the agendas.
Of course it will. That's always what happens. I think we score something. I'm happy with this. I think let's pop MCA. Let's just score something. What do we score?
Well, if we're gonna score something, it should probably be one of the 5/3s.
Yeah, so I think we score one of the 5/3s. I was just thinking about whether we want to, because obviously we're going to get the Leela bounce, which actually is not a bad thing right now because it'll thin
out our hand, or reduce the density in our hand.
Yeah, exactly. We're not too fussed really.
We are super rich.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 gang sign is a whiff. Vitruvius.
Yep. So, okay. So they bounced R&D ice. Fine. Okay. So we'll see what they do. I hope they'll just run R&D and take. Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll be slightly careful now. We've only got 12 cards left, so we probably have to try and score out, unless they hit an agenda, which would be quite nice.
That'd be very kind of them. All right, they're coming in. Come on, big money, hit an agenda.
Yeah.
Gosh. This is rough.
Yeah.
Now, it's worth noting, we have the Helheim now.
Okay. So
we can try to force a run into the remote, maybe?
So if we put the Helheim in the remote, and then we could... I'm thinking just put an agenda in that remote, I'm thinking, rather than the MCI. I don't think we've got time to MCI.
All right, what are we putting in there with it?
I think we put in... What could we put in? If we put in one of the... It's either the Vitruvius or the sales team is what I'm thinking. If we put in the... Put in the Vitruvius. Because actually we need a bit of money.
You mean the sales team?
No, I think put in the Project Vitruvius. I think we've got one in the hand.
Okay. Do we advance it?
No, because we'd have to discard some cards, which I'm not keen to do at the moment. So part of me says maybe just pay a hedge fund.
Yeah, the hand's getting a little thin for me to see.
Yeah. If they run it, great. If not, we get to 5 points, and therefore, then there's only one last gang sign to deal with. There's still an elective in there, which they might steal at some point.
I would love it if they...
Yeah. Okay. Okay, going again. That's good. Okay, now. Can we murder them?
Okay. We have all... So we need... It's 5.
3. Okay, they've got no links. That's fine.
So we need 3 sets of 11. We need 33 to kill them, right? With punitives.
Well, there is... Yes, because we need all 3 to land. We don't, unfortunately, have an MCO, which is kind of annoying, because if we had the clicks, we could then use EMP to finish them off, which we don't have. that's kind of a tricky one now. What to do now? So I don't think we can actually kill them. Just all three have to land. If been a 3-point, that has been straightforward. So what I'm thinking now is, do we actually want to shore things up, because they can now steal the elective to win the game. So it's now a bit more dicey.
Sure.
So I'm thinking we can obviously put a vanilla on R&D. Do we want to ice HQ? I think we do, because I think we've got another vanilla in hand. I think I can see. So I think we can overwrite the brainstorm. And do we try the agenda again? I think we put the Vitruvius back in the remote again.
Because that's also just a win condition.
Exactly, because we can get them, then we can kill them definitely at that point. Ooh, what was that? 2. So what are they gonna?
They're gonna Rosetta a femme for a femme.
Yep. But that's fine, because obviously we'll res vanilla, because we'll make them pay credit every time.
Yeah. Oh. 1000% we'll do that. Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic value exchange.
And now they've only got 4 cards in hand, so now if they do hit a 2-pointer,
then we got them. Let's see if they go in again. Yeah, come on in. The water's great. If they hit a GFI here, it's Rip City.
Yep. Okay, so
I don't know if we can afford to score.
The only reason I like the score is that we'll get to 5 points, and they'll feel they just have to run every single click.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're the pilot.
How many genders are left in the game? We've got 3 scored, 1 in the remote.
I think it's only the elective left, right?
So yeah, there's the elective and R&D. So obviously there's the danger of that, but
they don't have a way to break the other vanilla.
Yeah. So I think we score it. I mean, obviously gang sign is a danger, but this is the last time we have to deal with gang sign if we do score it. So
things are gonna get spicy.
Yeah.
And they didn't hit anything.
Okay. Are they gonna bounce something?
This could be the end, though.
Yep. This could be it. Well, unless we've got an index on our Maker's Eye, then it's 1 in 9.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get the Bartic, because that would, although it just makes life a little bit easier. Okay. Come on, please hit something.
So they hit the corporate sales team.
Okay.
So as long as they don't hit an agenda on the next run,
then yes.
Woo! We got it.
Yep. So triple punitive. Wow.
All right. So let's play it. We boost it by 1. There's no link.
Yeah.
Boost it by 1. Boost it by 1. Good game. Very close.
Yep.
That's a very good game I think we had, because it showed how you have to play when you're up against a bad matchup and somebody
Yep.
who knew that we were doing. We didn't just win because they didn't know what we were doing.
Exactly. Yeah, they sort of played it quite well as well. But I think the key point was once we got to 5 points, they were forced to be very aggressive then on the run-in, which sort of enabled us to actually kill them at long last.
Yeah, what a good one though. Very good.
Yep.
So, give me a little bit of final thoughts. What are some common misplays, maybe things that you've done or you've seen other people do with the build that people should try to avoid?
I think one of the things that I've personally done, and it's sort of more recently I'm beginning to realise, is I'm very perhaps too eager to play scarcity resources. What will happen is I'll have my opening hand against a resource-heavy deck, but I've got an agenda in my hand. I'll play the scarcity. I'm forcing them to run at this point, and at that point they then steal the agenda from my hand, and I can't punitive them. I can't do any damage to them.
Okay.
So obviously that's the mistake, is generally to play the scarcity once you've got the ice set up that you want, or you have no agendas in HQ and you can put the ice on R&D. Another thing I've seen people do is sometimes to score agendas out naked, which I'm not particularly a fan of either. I'd like at least a piece of ice in front of it. Because they might have a way to, like, they might put a film critic down, they might have some tech that you've not seen all of a sudden appear. And also, it's a bit too obvious sometimes. If you start scoring agendas out naked, it might give the game away too soon. So at least a piece of ice just gives potential, just trying to rush out or something.
Sure.
So I prefer that as well. I think, and that's about it. And I think it's just a general thing, is keep your options open. For me, the accurate idea that is to score out. That's what I'm always playing towards. I'm playing to score out agendas. If the runner happens to try to stop me doing that, then that's when you punish them. And that's the way I sort of play this deck.
Nice. Yeah. David, thank you very much for stopping by and giving me a
No
tour
worries.
of this deck.
No worries at all.
Yeah, man. And I'll put a link to the deck list in the show notes,
Okay.
if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, yeah, take it for a spin, especially if you're looking for kind of a different way to play CI, kind of take advantage of the meta a little bit. I have been finding personally that because, this deck is popular or more popular in the UK because you play it. But
Yeah.
I go around to like GNKs and stuff around here and I just win because people have no idea what I'm playing.
And that's it. But then what you can also find is once people do know what you're playing, then you can use that to your advantage as well. Is that no one will ever face check my ice at all at the moment. They do not do it. So I can quite happily score out behind a vanilla because they're not going to run it. So once they know the deck, then yes, it makes it harder in some ways, but actually easier in other ways. So it's sort of just finding at that point is when they know the deck.
Right. And that actually came up in the tournament where I kept not rezzing a piece of ice because it wasn't going to do anything or impact them in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
And then the person, after I didn't res it twice, was like, that's the brainstorm that you're waiting to res. And and they stopped running that server once their hand got big because they were on Atom.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then they're just like, I can't run that because that's the brainstorm. I'm like, yep, sure is the brainstorm. That's right.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And I had a game yesterday, again against an Adam player, where they played, I think it's Interdiction, the current where you can't res cards on the runner's turn.
Yeah.
So I res the Helheim servers behind a piece of ice, and they spent the whole game thinking that was a brainstorm. It was just an enigma, and sort of managed to score out behind it because they were just, again, rightfully too afraid. So again, yeah, you can use the deck to advantage in different ways as well, like that.
Nice. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and you're on Slack and other places all with the same name, right? You're
All
Rotage?
the same, Rotage everywhere. Yeah. So any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'm more than happy to talk about the deck or anything else. By all means, send me a line.
All right. Well, everybody watching at home, take it for a spin. If you have any questions, put them in the show notes or comments. And until we see you all again, always
Always be running.